I'm just an old truth teller. I'm your candid friend. I'm not some daydream seller. I do not.
Thank you. I was off the air yesterday. I'm aware of that, and I will address all your questions. First off, technology failed us big time yesterday. And I was wondering why it didn't happen sooner. But it was a little suspicious. I've worked in IT for decades. I've worked for ISPs. To have that many carriers go out simultaneously, wireless and wired, is unprecedented. 12 hours, the majority of the area was down for a quick storm that had no bad weather preceding it or coming after it. So it's a little weird, and I'll go into that a little bit more. I'm confused by this thing where you're violating my constitutional rights if you ask me to stay in the house to protect me from a virus. But you're not violating my rights if you tell me to stay in the house and have armed military troops to enforce that rule. They're conditioning you people, armed troops. And I said this, if you go back and look at these things, I said this months ago because they had started coming in dribs and drabs. Armed troops are in place. You will see them in not wealthy areas for the most part because of the optics. They still have a little control of the optics in their life. I guess we don't as much, but they are there. I guess it was on Tuesday night, the reports of them discharging weapons in Northwest Philly. I don't know if they're unconfirmed, but there was other things going on. There were trucks. Let me go back. There were multiple explosions. Explosions had been reported in the northwest section of the city. If you go back, and the only proof of it being reported in the past is on bulletin boards like next door and stuff like that, you will see neighbors asking about explosions 3-4 months ago. 3-4 months ago. So what happened there was they have wait, I'm gonna need my hat for this. Oh, it's not working. Prop's failing. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, now tinfoil hat. Okay. This protects me from the crazy radiation or whatever. Okay, I can't even do this the whole time. I'm taking it off. Regular armored hat. Okay, here's a skivvy. Explosions in the city reported for 6 months. They start increasing in frequency just recently. There are military vehicles that make explosions, helicopters and trucks that make explosions to simulate for psych ops the idea that there are battles and explosions happening. Okay, I know that's why I put the tinfoil hat prop in there because it sounds crazy. But here's the thing: people have taken pictures of those trucks in the city. So it's going back 6 months. Here's the thing. When I looked into it, what I found was this. Started looking at explosions. Some of the explosions are legitimate because some young entrepreneur was selling sticks of dynamite and people were trying to blow up ATM machines. And there was a group of people going around doing that and trying to get quick cash. But what happens to support this whole thing about the about any kind of conspiracy is that think about the logic of it. And this is how I think about things when I'm doing missing persons or whatever. What I did when I listened to the explosions and went to see where they were, tracked them down, here's what was missing. There was explosions, but there was never smoke. There was never fire. And more importantly, there were never sirens responding to the explosions when they happened. That's how you could tell the difference. They were increasing in frequency, and you could just tell it. You could just tell that something was off, and it still is. So people need to pay attention to that, because one woman put up on the thing, and she started to think that this was something wrong, and she thought there was something wrong with her for thinking of it, but she's not wrong. There is something that's off about this whole thing. These are confusing and emotional times, and we're getting barraged by ill-informed so-called experts that add to the confusion. I hope I'm not one of them. But we have to move forward and not dwell on the past, but we shouldn't ignore it either. The trick is to learn and evolve. We could certainly learn from this. We have to stand as a species with anybody that is keeping peace and protecting public safety. We have to stand for order over chaos, right over wrong, kindness over hatred, and good over evil. We have to, or we're done. Standing for these things takes more than a social media like, post, or emoji. Take the effort to be a part of being better. Be better yourself for the sake of being better, not because somebody's going to like it or watch it or anything like that. The violence is broken out is a pale reflection of overall attitude, and it's just reactionary. It's a reflection of an agenda of certain people, not everyone. Don't be sucked into it. You see bullshit, you say bullshit. It doesn't smell right, it ain't right. United we stand, divided we fall. True words have never been said. Human is a race, not a color, not a creed, not a paycheck. It's a race. If one hurts, we all potentially hurt. If you don't believe that, think about the death of one man that triggered all this, that has put life-taking virus in the background. It's the latest distraction. One man and his death. And remember, at the end of the game, the pawn and the king go back in the same box.